Problem 2. There is a 1,263 millimeters long steel piece. It needs to be cut into 64 millimeters long pieces and 90 millimeter long pieces. Every single time a cut is made, 1 millimeter of steel is wasted. If we want to keep the amount of wasted steel to a minimum amount, how many 64 90 minimum millimeter pieces should be cut? Okay, so here I just want to highlight one quick sentence, and that is this one. So, amount of wasted steel to a minimum amount. So it says here for every single time a cut is made, 1 millimeter of steel is wasted. So if we want to keep that to a minimal amount, then what it's basically asking is, you're right, to essentially to cut it into as less pieces as possible. So here we're again going to apply our algebraic thinking into number theory. So first, let's first set our variables. So let's let x equal I'll write it this way. How about number of 64 millimeters long pieces is equal to x, and number of 90 millimeter long pieces is equal to y. Okay, so we have two variables, x and y. And now let's see what sort of equation we can create. So of course 64x, because for every single x there is 64 millimeters, plus 90y, for every y there is 90 millimeters, plus that, plus x plus y minus 1 is less than or equal to 1263. The most important part is adding x plus y minus 1, because you might forget that, remember, 1 millimeter of steel is wasted every single time you cut. And now let's just organize this and simplify. So after we organize this, we can combine like terms. We have 95x plus 91y, and then we can shift this minus 1 here onto the other side. So we have less than 1264. And you'll notice that 65 and 91 are both multiples of 13, but 1264 sadly is not. So that's why it prevents us from simplifying this even further. And this is sort of indefinite equation type of thinking. So indefinite equations was a topic we covered earlier on, and I will be putting the link to that topic in the description down below if you are interested. And I highly recommend you watch that first, because in these problems there are going to be a lot of indefinite equations. So at least maybe watch one of those videos so you can get a quick refresh and then come right back. So what is the closest multiple of 13 to 1264 that does not go over? That would be 1261. So let's first assume that 65x plus 91y is equal to 1261. Right, 1261 is less than or equal to 1264. So now we can divide 13 on both sides, and after you do that, we get 5x plus 7y is equal to 97. So 5x plus 7y is equal to 97, and this is an example of an indefinite equation. So there is only one variable, there are two variables, but there is only one equation, so this is something you have to keep in mind. And you'll see that, so now, okay, let me erase this. Now we're going to use one of the ways we learned how to solve indefinite equations. Indefinite equations definitely won't just have one solution. There will be multiple solutions. Now, what are those multiple solutions? Well, let's first look at their multiples, right? What are they made out of? Essentially, that's what you're asking. So 5x divided by 5. 5 has a very strict rule for its multiples because their unit digit has to be either 0 or 1. So 5x divided by 5 has a remainder of 0. 7 and y divided by the 5 has to have a remainder of 2. Meaning that because, why? Well, because 97 divided by 5 has a remainder of 2. So something that divided by 5 has a remainder of 0 plus something else in their sum after being divided by 5 has a remainder of 2. So where did that remainder 2 come from? Well, it couldn't come from the first term, so it had to come from the second term. That's why 7y divided by 2 divided by 5 has a remainder of 2. And I'm going to erase this because it looks like it is dividing by 2. Okay, so now that you know that, what can 7y be? Well, 7y can equal, let's just do it all the way up to say 91. 91 because that's where it has to stop. It cannot go any higher. So we have 0, 7, 0, 7, 14, you can count with me, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49, 56, 63, 70, 77, 84, 91. So that's where we stop. And now out of these multiples of 7, how many of them, when divided by 5, has a remainder of 2? Well, that counts for 7 here, 77 here, and 42 here. So I'm just going to box them up because I don't want it to be mistaken with my usual answer. So 7, 42, and 77. Those are the multiples of 7 under 91. That, when divided by 5, has a remainder of 2. So, what are the different multiples for x? So in this case, x and y, here are the different possibilities. X and y, they can be equal to 8, 18, 11, 4, 1, 6, 11. So in our last problem, problem 1, this is all we had to do for an answer. But right now we're being asked for more. Remember, we want to keep the amount of wasted steel to a minimum amount. So there should be only one answer to this because we're looking for the least number of steel that is wasted. So add it together. So that's, remember, at the very beginning we concluded that what the question is asking is, what is the least amount of cuts made? What is the least amount of pieces made that can be made? So this added up is 19, this added up is 17, this added up is 15. So out of 19, 17, and 15, 15 is obviously the least. So our final answer would be the amount of 90 millimeter steel is going to be 64 millimeter. So they're going to be equal to 11 and 4. Okay, so this is my final answer, but of course, again, I'm just being lazy. You have to really answer it in a whole sentence and make sure to add the units. So thank you for watching through Inquisitive Kids, and see you in problem